Hello, cinephiles, and welcome to Silver Screen Sips, a podcast where two idiots talk about movies. And today we are talking about the Chronicles of Narnia. Welcome to season 17. Can you guess what we're talking about?
We're talking about Die Hard, right?
I already told you. Yeah. We're going to start with the first one, obviously, Lion, the Witch in the Wardrobe, the OG. Really diving into our childhoods for this season.
Are we?
My childhood, at least. Did you not watch this growing up?
I did.
Oh, I watched this all the time growing up. Anyways, just a reminder, there are spoilers ahead for movies and TV shows that you may not have seen yet. So just know you've been warned. How are you feeling, Isaiah? You're not dead, clearly.
I'm not dead. Good. I have survived. I was not okay last week. But
listen, a lot has happened since the last episode.
Yeah.
We saw Dune.
Yeah, we saw Dune together. I came up and we watched Dune. We watched Chronicles of Narnia together. So a lot of comments were made in the moment.
In person, yes.
In person.
It was our first time ever watching one of the movies that we had to talk about together. And I was like, wow, what an experience. I did my nails while we watched it for the party.
Didn't do mine. What a shame.
I offered. I literally said, you have nice nails. Let me do them.
But then the end of the movie, we were like, the movie was ending. We're like, oh, damn.
Mm-hmm. But great time. Great weekend. So much fun was had. Movie was great. Personally, I liked it better than the first, but I think you disagreed with that.
Yes. We were marginally. We were like.
We both liked. We liked both of them. But if I had to pick, if I had to rank them, we'd rank them different.
Yours was like a 3.5 and then this one was a 4. Mine was like a 4.5 and this one was a 4. So we both like evened out.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should kick off with This Week in Hollywood, shall we?
How about not? I don't want to do it.
There's some good headlines though.
There are some good headlines. So let's talk about last week. Well, not the last week. Last Sunday. The Oscars. They happened. I didn't even realize they were happening until I saw an ad on TV that said tonight. And I was like, oh, that's tonight.
See, I knew it was happening, but I had lost track of time. And I was like, oh, shit, it already happened.
Yeah. So I was like, I have to work tomorrow. I didn't take it off, but it's fine. But we're going to give you the recap, give you some of the highlights. So it's funny. It seems that this year the Oscars have gone unscathed by controversy. There are a few news headlines that you could tell they're just really trying to give it a controversy to talk about it, and they were like really
Al Capone.
reaching.
Not Al Capone.
Al
what?
Capone? Al Capone hosts the Oscars this year. Oh my god!
Imagine. What's his fucking name?
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
Yeah,
Al Capone.
I didn't even look at what he said, but apparently he miffed up the.
He did. He didn't mention. He did Best Picture. He nominated Best Picture, but then he didn't mention the rest of the nominees. He goes, I'm supposed to announce the Best Picture. There's many nominees, but there's only one winner. And then he just opens the envelope and he goes, I see Oppenheimer. And everyone's like, what the fuck? You just skipped the whole...
Oh, the whole thing?
List of nominations.
It sounds like the teleprompter wasn't up and he didn't know.
Maybe.
Anyway, however, this was the highest viewership in 4 years. The highest has been. Yeah. So
just goes to show you when you just do what people fucking want.
Yeah. They just, don't cause a scene. There were there's a few people talking about some of the speeches about, they were bringing up some controversial subjects, but everyone was like, okay. And they kind of just moved on with their lives.
Yeah.
But I think it's their best. I think it's the best.
Yeah.
But let's get on to the winners. So the biggest one, Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer swept the show with Cillian Murphy winning for Best Doctor. Best Actor. Robert Downey Jr. won for Best Supporting Actor. Christopher Nolan won for Best Director. Ludwig Göransson won for Best Score. Hoyt van Hoytema for Best Cinematography. Jennifer Lane for Best Editing. And of course, Oppenheimer wins Best Picture all together. Which, I mean...
Amazing.
Yeah, could be really good.
Yeah, very much credited and very much expected.
Yes. Now, we also have Emma Stone winning for Best Actress in Poor Things. I think it's Divine?
It is Divine.
Divine Joy Randolph winning for Best Supporting Actress in The Holdovers.
so well picked.
Well deserved.
Well
and
deserved.
a top tier win that I have to mention. All right, we got Takashi Yamazaki, Kyoko Shibuya, Masaki Takahashi, and Tatsuji Nojima for best visual effects in Godzilla -1. Okay, they nailed it.
Also deserved, yes.
Also deserved. They did that entire movie on a $10 million budget. Meanwhile, they beat out Guardians of the Galaxy that had a $200 million budget.
That's insane. That just goes to show you, it's not all about the budget or the, you know what I mean.
It's about innovation.
Yeah, it's about actual skill.
It's about actual skill. And you can find all of these winners at the Oscars website, and you can find the link in our Discord.
Yes. Please check it out. I kind of watched just like the highlights for the most part for the Oscars. Everyone's speech. I listened to everyone's speeches, and all the like takeaways from it. But yeah, I feel like there was not a single Oscar that I was like, no, they don't deserve that. It's like, no, every single one of those was the right choice.
Yeah.
Now to stay on theme with our current episode and our season, Netflix announced last year that they will be rebooting the Chronicles of Narnia, and it will be helmed by Barbie director Greta Gerwig.
That will be interesting.
A new update from Gerwig announced that it has just entered pre-production this week, and it probably won't start shooting until 2025. So that's not that long away, but ill timing, I guess. We just started Chronicles of Narnia season, but interesting at least.
But it's a reboot, so it's an entirely different trilogy we'd have to watch. Is it trilogy? I don't know how many books are in the Narnia series.
You act like I read.
That is true. Oh my God, there's 7.
Wow. We only got 3?
Well, this is considered a failed franchise.
True.
Yeah, Disney did,
Yeah.
Disney did an oopsie. Anyway, now, this next headline, I don't know why. It really pisses me off, but a horror movie is being based on the viral Willy Wonka experience that happened in Glasgow of like this last week.
So funny.
The horror film will be titled The Unknown, of course, and based off one of the main figures in the viral experience. The Unknown will be produced by Caledonia Pictures and aims for a release date of late 2024. If you haven't checked out the videos of the experience or The Unknown, go check it out. It's all over TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. It's everywhere.
It is. And it's not scary. So I'm curious how the fuck they're going to make this scary. And also, that's like less than a year turnaround. That's insane.
They got the rights to... First off, this is just some dude who scammed a bunch of people, right? And then by just by putting a bunch of stuff in ChatGPT, okay? Everything was made in about 15 minutes in ChatGPT. And they're going to give this dude money to showcase his failure or like his idea, quote unquote, of the unknown, which is literally just a ChatGPT character that just threw it in the middle of...
Like you'd have a better shot too of like making a documentary about the experience and like how it was a big scam and everything. Like that would be more interesting and also probably way more successful.
I need a Fire Festival documentary about this dude. Not giving him money off some AI bullshit that he did. Okay.
Now, as we've mentioned before, there is a new Karate Kid sequel in the making, and they just added a new cast member to the list. Ming-Na Wen will be joining the cast alongside Joshua Jackson, Ralph Macchio, Jackie Chan, and Ben Wang. Wen's role is still a secret with no details on the character yet, but the film does hit theaters December 13th, so we'll find out soon enough.
Relatively soon.
Yeah. If anyone's like, who is that? She's in Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, but we don't talk about that show.
You mean...
Type it down.
You mean Mandalorian?
You have litter
season
all
2.5?
over your face. She pooped on the carpet. We're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, we don't talk about Boba Fett. On to the next headline.
Yeah, so on to the next headline. Officializing her return after taking a long break from acting, Cameron Diaz has secured a follow-up in the upcoming Jamie Foxx pick, Back in Action. Ironic name. She'll star opposite Keanu Reeves in the movie Outcome, which will be the latest directing gig from Jonah Hill.
I know. This is crazy.
Apple Studios is backing this one. Womp womp. There is no word on whether it'll be in cinemas or go straight to Apple TV Plus, which is just a black hole.
Yeah. It'll probably just go straight to Apple TV Plus, honestly.
And no one will see it, unfortunately.
Probably not. Now, IMAX and A24 have teamed up to digitally remaster A24's 140 plus movies with monthly screenings. The initiative starts March 24th with Alex Garland's Ex Machina, which will include an exclusive sneak peek to his upcoming Civil War movie. Ari Aster's Hereditary will be playing on April 24th. I'll be there. And the Safdie brothers' Uncut Gem will be playing on May 22nd. I like this play. I like this. I support it.
I support it.
Anyways, that concludes This Week in Hollywood. You can find all of our sources cited on our Discord channel, along with the Oscar winners. All of them.
All of them.
Now,
all of them.
Before we get into our Big Lou's Big Brews, we're going to take a second to talk about the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
We are?
Yeah, we're going to talk about what the movie's about. Remember?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to start doing this for you guys, for your sake, so you understand what the premise of the movie is before we do a bunch of segments on it.
It's about some British kids and they find a wardrobe and they go to Narnia.
So what's it about, Isaiah? Do that again?
I'm good.
No, go ahead. You're doing so well.
How about you do it with a Russian accent?
It doesn't feel very fitting.
Fitting? Well, yeah, like a deep Southern American accent, because that's what they really want to do with this, which we'll get to in my segment.
Oh boy. Well, I guess I can explain it. Basically, the premise of the movie, for those who have never seen Chronicles of Narnia, which if you haven't, you had a terrible childhood. That's a fact.
Okay.
Basically, it's about a group of kids who grew up during the World War II or some shit.
The World War II, yes.
The World War. And
it starts during the Blitzkrieg.
It starts during the Blitzkrieg, correct. That is the opening scene. And then they have to go to some guy's house. These four kids.
It is 4 kids.
And when they're there, the youngest of the 4 stumbles upon a wardrobe. And the wardrobe takes her to this magical land called Narnia. And there she finds Tumnus, which is this half thing, half human. What's the fucking actor's name?
James McAvoy.
Thank you. Remember we couldn't think of his fucking name when we watched it too.
I was like, oh my god, that's that we were doing
the guy in Split.
We were doing the Leonardo DiCaprio.
The
sling in the pointy.
Hold up. Yeah. So yeah, they become friends. She tries to convince her siblings that the place exists. They don't believe her. They later find out it does exist. They go there. Oh my gosh, the land is being run by this evil witch. So obviously these children who just showed up are the prophets for some reason. So they have to... And
that becomes an allegory for the Bible.
Yes, it's all an allegory for the Bible. And so the kids have to defeat the White Witch. So they work with this lion. And okay, when you're explaining the story, it sounds fucking batshit. But they team up with the lion, who's supposed to be Jesus, and they all fight the bad witch. And Jesus dies, shocker, but he comes back. If you ever heard of the Bible, you knew that. Yeah, spoiler for the Bible if you haven't read it yet. Jesus comes back. And then they win the war and the evil queen is dead. And so is Jesus.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. So yeah, that's the premise of the first one. What happens in 2 and 3? I don't fucking know. I don't think I ever watched them.
Well, you're about to.
I don't know what happens after what is that? What is the chapter when Jesus dies? Is that the Old Testament or is it the New Testament?
You are asking the wrong person.
Okay. Someone knows out there.
Jesus die?
What chapter what season does Jesus die?
What season of the Bible does Jesus die?
Is it the season finale of the Old Testament or
I think it's last one actually part of the New Testament.
Okay, because the Old Testament I think is before Jesus. Whatever, we're not going to get into religion. But
The prequel?
the prequels. Yeah. But yeah, that's the premise. It's all just a big, I mean, you can also watch it without having to put any religious ties to it. But me growing up extremely Catholic, it had very religious ties to it. So you can watch it either way and be perfectly content. But that is Narnia, the first Narnia, Lion, Witch, and Her Wardrobe.
The Narnia.
It's
Narnia.
Now, after all that, I need a drink.
I needed a drink.
We're going to hop on into Big Lou's Big Brews. Brought to you by Isaiah today because Lewis is slipping.
He's drunk.
Yeah, Lewis is drunk. He's slipping. He did not write us a drink today, so we had to come up with our own. And we're just going to wing it. So today's drink is called the White Witch's Spell because the main villain is called the White Witch. But anyways.
I found out her name is Jadis.
Jadis? What the fuck?
It's Jadis is Jadis.
Jadis. That sounds like Jadis, but it also sounds like Jadis. But Jadis, that sounds terrible.
It sounds worse.
Yeah, Jadis. Anyways, you can find this online on yaycork.ie, but you can also find it on our Discord. We put all of the links to all of the sources that we use in our Discord channel, so go check that out. Anyways, the White Witch's Spell. So we have the ingredients, but here's the catch. We do not have how to make it. So I'm going to just say what's in it. And then Isaiah and I are just going to we're just going to guess based off of our very limited knowledge of mixology. We're just going to eyeball it and see what happens. And you guys can just hope one of us is correct. And when you make this drink, you don't die. But this is what happens when Lewis slips up.
You're not responsible.
So you guys get drunk. That's what happens.
You're not responsible for anything that happens afterwards.
Correct. Okay, so here are our ingredients. Whiskey of your choice. I recommend Larceny. A drop of lemon. Not a whole lemon, a drop of lemon juice, I'm assuming is what they mean. An egg white, winter spice syrup, and Cointreau. How much of all of these things? I don't fucking know. This is what we're going to talk about here. So based off of so how about this? How about you tell me how you think based off the ingredients and the photo in this, tell me how you think it should be made or how you think it is made. And I will tell you how I think it's made. And then we'll see who agrees with who.
Yeah, I think it looks like a layered drink. So I'm assuming that it is like 1.5 ounces of like whiskey or something, and then drop a lemon in there, throw the egg white in there, mix that all up, pour it into a glass, and then you put the syrup and the Cointreau on top. That's what kind of, wow. It's probably like a 1/2 ounce of Cointreau.
Wow. Okay. You have a very different idea than I did.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised. So I agree with you. I think it is 1.5 ounces of whiskey. It does not look like a layered drink to me, given this photo. Knowing that there's an egg white in it, I'm going to assume that that is the last thing put in. I'm assuming it's frothed up and then poured on top as a frothed egg white topping, because that's kind of what it looks like in the image. So I'm going to assume you take the whiskey, you take the spice and the spice syrup and the Cointreau, maybe even the lemon juice, and you mix all that together in a shaker and you pour that into the glass and then you top it with the egg white. But it does look like they're pouring something on top.
Maybe it's the whiskey, the lemon, the syrup, shaken, egg white on top, Cointreau through the middle.
Perhaps. I also am going to say Cointreau in spice syrup is 1/2 ounce each. That feels about right. So you guys can go based off of one of those two. Whoever's, hopefully one of us is close to correct.
We're both so wrong.
We're probably both so wrong. You can also look at the image online or on our Discord and maybe make your own assumption. But just based off the ingredients alone, what would you rate it?
I don't know. I don't think I never had an egg white in my drink before.
Neither have I.
I don't know how that would taste. I am willing to give it a shot. So
I see what you did there.
I'll give it a 3. I'll give it like a 3.5 out of 5. I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
It's also mostly whiskey, so I feel like,
Well, we don't know. We're assuming it's mostly whiskey. It's actually 3/4 of just the syrup. And then it's just half an ounce of whiskey.
So based off my recipe of how I would do it, yeah, I'd go with it.
Okay. I think I'm going to give it a lower rating. I do not like the idea of raw egg. I know it's egg white or whatever, and it's like frothed up or something, but I just don't like runny egg in general. So like the idea of an egg white in my drink is not appetizing to me at all. I'm going to give it a 1.5.
Damn.
Even though it has whiskey.
Fair. Valid.
But thanks, Isaiah, for coming in clutch.
Gotta do what you gotta do, boy.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on the topic of alcohol, we drank a lot at your birthday party.
What? No, we didn't. What are you talking about?
There was like 20 people in there, and we were all super drunk. It was the most
That was
rowdy.
the most sober I have ever been in years. I don't know what you're on about.
Then I must have been drunk because wow.
Yeah. It's a good time.
There was we gotta mention we got the Dune bucket.
Oh, we did. Well, if anyone follows us on Instagram, then they would have seen it, hopefully.
Yes, you would have saw that we got the Dune bucket. Now, what people are probably confused about, like, why would you buy the Dune bucket other than for the joke?
Mhm.
But Jacob had the great idea, and he's the reason why we had to get it,
Yes.
which is Beth's boyfriend. He had the great idea of what people have to do is when they arrive to the party, we're going to fill the bucket with nibs, and they have to stick their hand in the bucket to get a nib.
Yeah, and it worked out very well because you couldn't see what you were grabbing.
I think I got me and Olivia. Olivia said she was like allergic. Oh no, sorry.
It was Jess.
Jess said she was allergic to like cherries or something, and she pulled out like a cherry
Banana
vodka or something like. Oh, banana. Yeah, it was a banana. She's like, no, it was peach because I was like, oh, I'll trade it with you, and
Jess pulled out a banana. I had banana. No.
See, you were drunk at this point.
I had green apple. Someone else had grape. And I didn't want it.
You were not part of any of those. Well, you traded with someone else because I traded with Jess because she said, I'm allergic. I will die. Yes. And I said, don't drink that. And I grabbed that out of her hands.
Yes, I was there for that. And I'm just mixing things up now.
Mixing drinks.
Yeah.
And then, what do you call it? That one. We all just opened it up. I think Jacob was like, it's time for the nibs. And then we all just, someone drank it already. And he was like, screw it, everyone drink your nibs. And then we cracked them all open and we took them all out as a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine was grape and it tasted like cough syrup. It was disgusting. I love grape, but like grape flavored vodka is not good. Especially 99. It was like the shittiest vodka too.
Yeah, it was 99%. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I felt it though. I felt it. But it was good. It was fun times. And then, what was at the end of the night, we ended up using my cold liqueur. What was it called again?
Your tequila, your strawberries and cream one?
Yeah, the strawberries and cream tequila. Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, and then we also got the orange Jarritos that we never got to drink, but you drank it.
I did drink some of it. Jacob ended up drinking most of it, but I did drink some of it, and you can't even taste the alcohol in it. It's just
dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Like that.
Highly recommend.
Right.
Thank you. I would say thank you, Lewis, but really thank you, Isaiah, for the drink.
I bow. So let's take a moment, not just to thank myself, but also thank our sponsor.
Yes.
We take a moment to thank our sponsor. Today's sponsor, Shaker and Spoon, the monthly subscription service that gives you bar quality recipes and ingredients designed by award-winning mixologists. Their latest box, the Ballad of the Irish Whiskey. You get a little Irish in you, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna go celebrate St. Patty's Day soon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A couple days away.
Oh, yeah. It features incredible Irish whiskey cocktail recipes. Looks like you'll be using some of these on soon. If you like your very own box to drink along with us, then head on over to shakerandspoon.com and use our promo code SIPS10 to get $10 off your first subscription. Again, that's promo code SIPS10 for $10 off. And you can celebrate St. Patty's Day with us.
Well, it'll have already passed. So hopefully you did celebrate.
Yeehaw.
Now let's hop into Beth's question of the day. Now I have it's kind of a obvious one, but I figured we'll just start off with the obvious one.
So you did your segment. I didn't have to go and find your segment. I didn't have to find a question for you.
Correct.
Beautiful. Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. I'm ready.
So as we mentioned, there is a magical wardrobe that lets you teleport to Narnia. My question is, if you could step into a wardrobe and teleport to any type of world, what kind of world would it be? It could be literally anything. Can be medieval fantasy, kind of like Narnia. It could be cyberpunk. It could be like Avatar, like anything.
So
What would it be?
it can be an existing IP.
Sure.
Okay. I would love to go to cyberpunk. However, I know I wouldn't survive it.
Fair.
So I don't think I would go there. I like the world, but I wouldn't visit it. Night City would eat me alive. Very interesting question. I like it. Where would you go? Tell me where you would go. Middle Earth? Don't say Middle Earth. Are you gonna say Middle Earth?
No, was not. I could I wouldn't mind like going to Hogwarts or like that whole area, like Hogsmeade and all that. Like I think Harry Potter would be really, really cool. Because I could go between like regular world and like the wizarding world. So that would be a nice back and forth. I also would not mind no, just Lord of the Rings.
Just Lord of the Rings? That's it?
Actually, yeah, no, just Lord of the Rings.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I would love to live with the elves in Arendelle so much.
No, I'm having a hard time thinking of fictional universes. But
yeah, all I can think of is like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. Like those are the main three. But I know there's more. But it's hard to think. Yeah, it's hard to think of like other worlds because you just think of like Earth.
You know what? Here, we're gonna go this. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, The Matrix. Oh, I didn't think of that. Someone put Half-Life.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting choice. League of Legends. That's also an interesting one. Now, would you live in the Avengers world? But you wouldn't have superpowers, so you would just be the person who owns the car that Iron Man throws at somebody.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass on
Yeah,
that.
I think I'm good on that. Attack on Titan. That'd be
terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying. Do you not know?
Naruto would be kind of fun.
Would you become you would become a ninja?
I could be a ninja. That would be fun.
What if you were in the Truman Show? You were Truman.
No, thank you.
That seems kind of wild. Probably wouldn't join the Halo universe because that'd be kind of weird. And I would die. You know what? I think Avatar. Avatar: Last Airbender.
Oh, that Avatar.
Yeah, I think an Avatar: Last Airbender.
That would be pretty cool too.
But like, not. You know what? Actually, wouldn't do the Last Airbender.
What nation would you be in?
Probably fire.
I fucking knew it.
But it wouldn't be the Last Airbender era. It would definitely be Legend of Korra era. Now, Last Airbender is way better. Let's be honest. Like, if we're talking about shows, just side tangent, we're talking about shows. Last Airbender is a masterpiece. Legend of Korra is okay, but in the if I had to go transfer to a universe with what's going on, definitely Legend of Korra because it's basically the 20s. And it's got like cars and air conditioning and metal bending. So
okay,
I'll go with that. Yeah, I would definitely. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the Legend of Korra era. That's the universe I'm in.
Okay,
so the Avatar,
that's good.
The Avatar one, not the blue people.
All right, that's not bad. I will give you that.
And
I can get behind that one.
If I can become an Earth, I would. Damn, you know what? Maybe I'd be an Earthbender instead.
Oh yeah, that's what I think I would be.
I'd be an Earthbender just because I can metal bend. It's super cool. Because what do you call it? Well, in Legend of Korra, Toph's daughter, she has like whips, like metal whips, and she controls them with the metal bending, which is dope as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There we go. There's your answer.
Okay. Good choice. Good choice. I can get behind it. Well, thank you for answering my question. I'm glad it was a good one.
You're welcome. Now, is it time for some facts? Are you?
I believe it.
Ready?
I believe it is.
Are you ready for some facts?
Oh, am I?
Are you ready for your question? No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. I found a few. Now, there are. Okay, let's get into something. These are based off books, okay, and these books are written by C.S. Lewis.
Apparently, 7 books.
7 books, yes. And they're by C.S. Lewis, who is one of the most prolific writers of all time. All right.
Yes.
I just now. So for this first fact, you're gonna realize there's gonna be some similarities. I don't know if you noticed between Narnia and like Lord of the Rings. Some like maybe story beats, some like elements, some like fantasy things going on.
Mm.
If you did, that's because J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis both went to the same literary discussion group called the Inklings at the University of Oxford for 20 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they were I guess they're very good friends.
That's crazy.
Now, due to the success of Harry Potter, Paramount felt it was imperative to have the books based in the U.S. Why?
Oh.
I don't know.
Meh.
It
Who
didn't pan
knows?
out. It didn't pan out, obviously, because
Clearly.
C.S. Lewis is British and he wrote the books in Britain.
Mm.
So it'd be kind of weird for it to be the U.S.
Yeah.
During that time. So they obviously take place in England during World War II, and
Blitzkrieg.
the story is written by a British writer. So
Hmm.
that's why they're like Paramount was like, I guess we have to do it in over there
Yeah.
across the pond.
Oh my God.
Now, Guillermo del Toro was asked to direct this movie.
Imagine.
It would be such a different movie.
So different, but honestly, I would have been all for it.
I would have been for it. Now, however, he had to turn it down because he was directing Pan's Labyrinth.
I knew it. I was going to say it. I feel like that was around the same time.
Yeah, so I guess we could have probably got. Pan's
And
Labyrinth might be.
I'm not going to lie. I was going to say, it kind of gives me like similar, like it's almost like a, what if or like what could have been.
What if Narnia was a horror movie?
Ooh, that's just Pan's Labyrinth.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
now we have some actors who almost played Aslan.
Oh boy.
Okay. Now
You're like a tiger, an alligator.
God himself.
Whoa.
Yeah, no. So we have Ray Fiennes.
Okay.
Okay. Brian Cox, who, if you don't know, Brian Cox is the dad in Succession.
Okay.
However, he was fired. So he was actually on the project, but he was fired.
Why was he fired?
Mostly due to scheduling conflicts and because Liam Neeson was just a better fit. And I believe there's an interview with him talking about him and the director and being like, yeah, Liam Neeson, his voice. Have you heard it? He goes, yeah, that's a better fit. He's like, yeah, so I have to let you go. and he was like, that's fair. And he was like, okay. Also, by the way, the guy who directed this movie is the dude who directed Shrek 2.
Oh, interesting. Not
Yes.
expected.
Also, did you know Shrek won an Oscar?
No?
Yeah,
For
Shrek
what?
won for best animation.
Okay, I figured. Best picture.
The best picture. Yeah, so that guy won an Oscar and then he wrote and now he's directing this movie. Then we have Liam Neeson. So Sean Bean and Gerard Butler.
Okay. All right.
Interesting choice on Gerard Butler.
Yes, very.
And I believe all of them agreed, like, yeah, Liam Neeson's got that like smooth Scottish huggable voice.
Huggable?
I think Gerard Butler described it as huggable.
That's amazing.
And now we have actresses who almost played the witch, aka Jadis,
AKA, what's her name?
Tilda Swinton.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Michelle Pfeiffer was offered the role. Didn't work.
Good.
Nicole Kidman was rumored.
Okay.
She was rumored to be officially casted. She wasn't. Nobody really knows if it was true or not, but apparently it was enough for people to be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
As well as Kate Winslet.
No, not. Well, nah. Maybe. Hard maybe.
Now I don't have a lot. There's no people who were like, oh, who could have been the kids or whatever. It's because the director was going for. He said he didn't want to find child actors. He wanted to find like actual children because when they were going to build the world of Narnia, he wanted them to have like genuine reactions and like wonder about things. So he went for like purposely went for like just
not known people.
Yeah, like actual children instead of child actors. Apparently like, they went to like thousands of children.
Oh wow.
So that's why there's like now really like who almost played those guys because they were straight up just looking for.
Well, they picked the right ones.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Now many of his characters, Weta, the design shop, they worked on Lord of the Rings and all that stuff for their characters and creatures. So they also worked on this one. Ironic that J.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis's stuff comes together once again.
Yeah.
So many of Wheatus creatures designs were designed for digital creations, so they were all like they weren't really physical. So, but when Howard Berger and K&B FX inherited the practical effects work, they had to spend 3 months retooling the approved designs for animatronics because a lot of the stuff was also going to be animatronic.
Mm.
Berger's children would comment and advise upon his designs. They suggested the White Witch's hair be changed from black to blonde, which Berger concurred with as he realized Swinton's wig looked too gothic.
Yeah. I liked the idea of the White Witch, being all white, pretty much. And it wasn't really even like blonde. It was like almost white. It was like bleach blonde, if anything.
Yeah, I was going through. There was a nice detail. I kind of like, you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, you don't really realize until like someone points it out. Is that which they did on purpose? Is that as Aslan comes back and as the winter thaws, she goes from her crown being like a full ice thing and like her being in full white. As the movie goes on, she slowly starts like melting. So her crown gets shorter. Her stuff gets more browner.
Interesting.
So
I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah. So
Damn.
I didn't realize it too until they showed side by sides. They're like, yeah, when she first shows up, her crown is really, really tall and like full ice. But by the time they get to the scene where the waterfall happens, her crown is really, really short.
Huh. Interesting.
So, a little nice touch. Thank you,
Looks
costume
like I have to
department.
rewatch it. Yeah, I love costume.
Now, the filmmakers asked permission to bring in 12 reindeer to New Zealand as they were filming in New Zealand to pull the White Witch's sled. They were denied by the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, citing the potentially deadly Q fever, from which the North American reindeer population suffers as the reason. However, 10 wolves and wolf hybrids were allowed for filming in Auckland.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fucking wolves.
Love the wolves. Now, we have some things about them too. George Henley's reaction to Georgie, sorry, her name is Georgie, the girl who plays Lucy. Georgie Henley's reaction to Mr. Tumnus at the lamppost is actually genuine. She had not seen her
like the scream.
Yes, like
whatever the jump.
When she enters Narnia and when she sees Mr. Tumnus for the first time, those are all genuine reactions.
Oh wow!
Because they brought her into the film, into the set blindfolded.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she was carried to set blindfolded to make her first entrance, and then her wide-eyed, delighted reactions were all entirely her own, is the way they wrote it.
Huh. Well, she did a great job.
Yes. Speaking of first time on set, the first time Tilda Swinton walked on the set, she was blind due to the contact lenses she was wearing, so she couldn't see a damn thing.
Oh my God.
Now, the wolves, they were mostly husky hybrids. However, their tails would wag in some of the shots, causing them to look like too friendly. So they would mask out the tails and CGI in like less moving ones. And then sometimes they would film entire shots with the dogs, and they would just be there. And it lacked any like viciousness, so they would add a wolf or two in post, and it would change the entire perception of the dogs that are surrounding them.
Ah, interesting.
One of the most notable scenes, and they were showing it in the behind the scenes, is when the wolves start popping up when she calls for the main wolf to go hunt them down. There's like a sweeping shot of the wolves popping up from in the ice castle, and there's a shot specifically of 3 wolves that pop up. The 2 on the right are real wolves, and one in the middle is the CGI one. And you can see the shots before and after. Yeah, the dogs pop up, and they just look like, oh, they're dogs. But then you see then they added the third, the wolf, and he pops in. And you're like, oh crap, those are wolves. They're here to eat me.
Yeah,
which is so crazy. Like just how things change from context.
Exactly. Yeah. And
for our last fact, Mr. Tumnus's ears are animatronic and remote controlled on his head.
Huh.
So he's sitting there. Someone else is just wiggling things on his face.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because it definitely wasn't CGI. I just, for some reason, my brain just did not comprehend it. I was just like, no, those are his ears.
Yeah, he's got those.
Yeah.
That's surgical.
Yeah.
And those are all my facts for today.
Well, those were pleasant. I liked them. It does my heart good when you have a lot of facts. Now, let's get
into it.
Get right on into it. Yeah. Why don't you go first? I know you were just talking a lot, but why don't you go first?
Okay.
I mean, we watched this together, so most of this we've already shared with each other, but we'll just reshare it again
Yeah.
with the class.
Oh yeah, I wrote my review on Letterboxd was when Aslan came back from the dead, I yelled, "Is that Jesus?" Which is what I did. I did it. We did in fact yell, "Is that Jesus?" when we watched the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, we did.
That's hilarious. So my notes here. Edmund is a bitch.
Dude, you hated Edmund so much
I
when we
can't
were watching
stand.
it.
Oh my god, he's such an ass. I didn't.
He was annoying.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna trade in my entire family for a box of Turkish delights. Like really,
Mm-hmm.
like what do you call it? You might not like your family, but you're really just gonna turn them into the obvious evil person in the room,
And
or like,
for Turkish delight of all things, it's
yeah,
so gross in my opinion. I do not like Turkish delight. It's like I would have maybe understood it.
for Snickers.
Yeah, or
What would
something.
you do for a
Anything.
Klondike bar? And then as the same reaction we both have is Mr. Tumnus a kidnapper?
Okay, yeah. I wrote that. That was my letterbox review. I literally wrote, still a nostalgic classic. Mr. Tumnus is way creepier than I remember though. Because
Yeah,
I don't recall him being so like,
I'm gonna steal this child.
yeah, creepy. And I was like, ooh, I like as a kid, I remember him being like the best character. And like, even now, anyone who thinks of the movie, everyone's like, oh, Mr. Tumnus, like everyone loves him. Watch the movie again as an adult. You will get a different vibe.
Yeah,
I can assure you that.
didn't like it. Also, so and this, on the opposite side, all these kids are very gullible and just very trusting of strangers. Like there's
Oh yeah. They didn't taught stranger danger at all.
no they those,
But I guess you have to remember this is also Blitzkrieg time. So
but
different
like,
times.
but also, where's your sense of self preservation in you know billions of years of instinct?
We don't have that here.
No, clearly, because then the plot wouldn't go forward. Which is just,
Yeah.
I don't know who to blame. Is that C.S. Lewis's part? Is that the movie script writing's part? I don't know.
We'll never
We'll
know.
see. Yeah, I also wrote sacrificing your family for Turkish delights.
Mhm.
Now the practicals are like Lord of the Rings level good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We ended up looking up the budget of the movie
Yeah,
halfway
so
through
like,
because we're like, what is the budget on this? Because it's like there's so many practical effects, you know? And like the big war at the end too is crazy.
the budget was 180 million in
Yeah,
2005.
that's insane.
So
Take notes, Marvel.
So like I do think like for the time too, like 2005, the CGI blends really really well with the
Hmm.
with, like especially like the wolves specifically. Like you have the practicals with the wolves, and then you have
Yeah,
with the dogs, and you have like the CGI wolves, and they kind of just blend together. Like obviously you can tell which ones are CGI, and which ones aren't.
yeah,
But for the time, you would be like, oh my god, that's a real wolf. It's speaking.
yeah.
So pretty good. And so one of the things is that I noticed is did nobody read the stone table that Aslan was killed on? Because it says right there of what's about to happen, and they still do it. And I'm like,
You're making an
like
excellent point.
you cannot believe in the prophecy, sure, but when something is literally written in stone
You
about,
might want to
hey,
take a good look at it.
yeah, like you know what, hey, it says if you stab me on this table, I'll be back to kill you. Maybe don't do it. I don't know,
Yeah.
just a thought. However, another thing I didn't notice is that then it clicked to me is the White Witch, the mane that she cuts off of Aslan, she then turns into her war outfit.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I guess you're
like
right. Yeah,
yeah, which is like that's kind of badass.
it is kind of badass. I mean, I don't approve of it because that's fucked up, but it's badass.
He wears fur. Someone get the red paint.
Yeah.
My final thought is that this kind of just felt like a very average telling of basically an live action version of a Bible story. I just
Yeah.
I liked because I liked it when I was growing up. It's a good kids movie, but like it's pretty meh to be honest. Like story wise, it's kind of okay. It it does an adequate job. It doesn't do an amazing job, and it doesn't do a terrible job,
It's
but it gets the
definitely
job
forgettable.
done. Yeah, like it gets the job done.
Yeah.
And had this not come out and everybody like this generation like at the very specific time it does with everybody being like, oh my god, Mr. Tumnus, oh my god, that's a child movie. I it just like if it came out today, I don't think it would have done well. It like it just
Right.
which
Yeah.
which I'm very curious to see get a Greta Gerwig's take on it, because if it's going to be anything like this one, it's going to be,
Just no creepy Mr. Tumnus.
Yeah, that's just going.
I mean, you can have Mr. Tumnus, just make him a little less creepy somehow.
That's definitely something I want to see. And be like, what the hell? How are they going to do with this?
Or play into it and make him really creepy. One of the two.
Make him an actual kidnapper. He's okay. Yeah, but I give it a 3 out of 5. It's okay. It's
straight mid.
Yeah, straight mid. Like a 2.5 is like mid. It's like marginally better than mid. Like, because it got the story done. It was entertaining. Is it 2.5 hours worth of entertainment? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be that long.
It was long for its time. Yeah. And for like a, basically a kids movie, it's long.
Yeah. I'm very surprised.
I was like, oh my God, how much longer is this? I remember being like, the party was starting soon. We're like, dude, we got to finish this fucking movie. People are going to be here. Okay. Yeah. 3.
Yeah.
I gave it also a 3 out of 5. I agree. I think it is, it's just a little bit better than average. Of course, I have the childhood tie to it where, I watched it a lot growing up. And I think if it came out today, it definitely would be easily forgotten. I think Tilda Swinton does an amazing job as the White Witch. She plays a very good bad guy. I remember being scared of her as a kid. I think Mr. Tumnus is just creepy overall. That's kind of just the only note I really wrote was that he was creepy. I didn't have a lot of notes overall. I thought, it's a cute story. It's all the kid actors are really, really well picked and they're really well done. I think they all do a very good job. I mean, yeah, it's a kids movie. So there's, a couple lines that are delivered a little cheesy or whatever, but like overall, very well done. The budget for this movie is crazy, and what they were able to do with that budget is even more crazy to me. Just the battle scene alone at the end is all you need to see in order to be like, wow, like where has the like this kind of movie making is not really around anymore, especially for this, like a movie like Narnia, where it's the first of its series and it went all out basically.
Yeah.
They had a lot of faith. That's hard to come across nowadays. So I will give them that. But yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5. Why'd they have to kill the Jesus dude? He was my dude. He's my guy. But yeah, curious what the other two are about. I know very little about the second one. I really just know the name and the actor's face in it, and that's about it. So we'll see.
Prince Caspian, also 2.5 hours long.
Oh, great! Yippee!
Yippee!
Do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap it up today?
No, pretty good.
All right. Well,
we'll see what happens next time.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for season 17. And please feel free to send in any movie suggestions you would like us to watch and review for any upcoming listeners episodes. You can send those on at silverscreensips@gmail.com. And of course, if you don't follow us already, then be sure to follow us on Instagram so you can get any and all updates regarding the show. We will see you next week with Prince Caspian.
So is everybody in the closet? All the actors? Is that like what it is?
We'll see you guys.